So here's my new resume where I have attempted to make it adhere to all the rules of my channel. I could use a different picture. I grabbed a headshot though, because the point is I'm not seeking a job. I'm trying to create a representative example for all of you to put on. So, will I ever update the picture? Mixer, don't push it today, all right? You do have my address. Send big money there. So am I missing? I'll scroll through it in a second. What I want to know is, am I missing anything I've talked about in this channel that should be on a resume? So I went and added an objective. It's not a positional objective because I don't have one right now, but I always say have an objective. I say a picture is optional. And then I do give 2 lines of like skills summary. And then I'll scroll through it, see what I'm missing, if anything. One thing you'll notice is it will be slightly more than 2 pages. But this is my work history. It's a little bit odd because I held 2 positions at once. And so I have this unwieldy disclaimer about why there are 2 positions at once. So I'm open to better suggestions of how to handle that. If you find something in here, though, because I want to make this an example for the channel and post it on the website as a reference, if you find anything even so small as a typo, you can tell me in Discord general chat or in stream chat here. Meanwhile, standard dates, location, etc., I try to put these in results format. So led the definition, growth, and technology strategies for Prime Gaming, formerly Twitch Prime, thus adding a new video gaming pillar to Amazon Prime. That's the result. I can't say how many members joined it. That would be good, but it's confidential. Deployed a big budget to engage gamers with Amazon Prime, negotiated participation of all major game developers in the program. Prime Gaming has grown from launch to confidential millions. This is the results of active monthly users, systematically bringing a younger global demographic to Amazon. So again, I'm trying to draw the end result. Now, I actually see an error in this resume I will go fix, which is some bullets I end with periods and some I don't. Bullets normally do not end with periods, so I need to go remove those. So that's one systematic small change. And Mixer, you have a point. I could say more than a few million. It sounds weak. I don't know. I can't find the right way to get around that. And I left the role early, like 2 years from now, I just put the number in because it's no longer material to Amazon and they won't care. But I've only been gone 3 months. And so putting the number in now would be inappropriate. So, but thank you for the suggestion. And by the way, feel free to be brutal. If there's something I'm missing in here or something you don't like, something you think is actually a bad resume. Since we are going to make this one of the reference examples on the website, you said, should the objective have a period? Probably. That probably should have a period. So I have punctuation problems. Hey, Hitch. Good to see you. All right, we'll keep going. VP of the App Store. This was actually my largest position at Amazon, even though not the most recent. Founded and led the creation of the Amazon App Store. This needs a result, actually. So I did this, but that's only telling the work. It's not telling the impact. So this needs to have added to it. I probably should make these edits as I'm talking. I wonder. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Because otherwise I'll forget them all. And since this is going to be a reference, might as well do it right. So I'm going to make these edits right as we talk. I'm going to add real quick so everybody knows what edits I'm making. I'm adding a period to the end of the objectives. I'm removing periods on the different bullets. because bullets don't end with periods. And on the first bullet under VP of Amazon App Store, founded and led the creation of the Amazon App Store on Android tablets, on Android phones, Kindle tablets, and Fire TVs, enabling global sale of these devices in over 200 countries and territories, which luckily all fits on that line. So I didn't extend my resume by doing that. So now I'm going to save this, and we'll keep. Okay. Let me come back to you guys and keep going. Bring up the chat. One thing I messed with is bringing the objective text box up slightly. Okay. Yeah, I could do that. I could look at bringing it up to see if I could fit the final role completely on one page. That's a good point. Let me see if I can do that real quick. I won't spend a lot of time editing while we talk, but let's see. Changing that killed. It's messing something else up with the formatting, so I'm not going to mess with it right now. But it's a good point. If I could get it all on one page, that would be Maximus. That's a good piece of feedback. Okay. I'm taking a little time on this and going slower today because I tend to rush. Is it good to put your GitHub profile in your resume? I would say yes if you're... Oh, and did I start with a template? That is a great question. This is a standard Microsoft Word resume template. I went on purpose with something many people have access to, and it was not at all fancy or special technology. It's just straight up Microsoft Word, like create a resume, fill in the blank. Danny says yes on GitHub, and I agree, particularly if you're a technical background. Okay, let's keep going. Directory Amazon Video. I got all the periods out of these already, so I don't have to go delete periods at the end of any of the bullets. Progressive startups, I do have a period. Again, if you notice anything, important here, I have a long career, and what's rolled up as progressive startups is like 5 jobs. So if I want my resume not to be many, many pages, I have to have a way to summarize that. And I'm summarizing 11 years of work as progressive startups because it's long ago. It's 15 years ago, 16 years ago. And because otherwise my resume gets much too long. So I simply try to say what I've done. I do need to maybe, again, talk about the impact. So that's a good change for me to go make offline, is to work more on my own coaching on impact. And then I've chosen in this copy of the resume to go ahead and leave what I do today down here at the bottom. There's an argument for moving it to the top. I haven't done that because what I do today is not necessarily what people are most interested in. But I'm probably going to move this block to the top because it's truthful. It is my most recent experience. It further confounds the problem that I started doing this work while I was still at Amazon, so it becomes this messy world of 3 concurrent positions. So I don't know. That's a tough one because I was doing 3 things at once. It's a little hard to explain. Most of you don't have that challenge. Showing you the rest of the resume. Here's my education. And feel free, by the way, we're going to do Q&A at the end of all of this. So if you have questions, you can put them in our Q&A tool and we can start voting on them. We'll take some question breaks in the middle maybe so that people don't have to necessarily spend an hour or 90 minutes with us to get their questions answered. And then I have education skills. And then in this copy, the way it rendered, activities shows up here. In my Word original, activities is on page 3. Now, why do I have a page 3? It's because it's all optional and I can cut it. So if I were really going to send this in, I'd either shrink the first 2 pages, probably by playing with the formatting, because I have a lot of white space in this resume. It's very huge margins. I could play with the formatting to make it shorter. Or I'd cut some things. But this stuff's all the like good optional stuff. I listed it to show what they look like. An activities section that just shows basically I have different likes. And then the patents is frankly a brag list to establish technical credibility. Because somewhere in the body of the resume I claim that I have more than 60 patents, which is true. And so why not give people a sample of them? And I picked a sample, so you know, that are across different technologies. So video sessions, mobile-based utilizing transportation units for delivering items, that's item shipment robots, application distribution over a dispersed network, on-demand customization of products is basically a make-on-demand product, and autonomous ground vehicles at delivery locations, basically showing that I have patents in a wide range of technologies, so I'm not a one-trick pony. Let me see. I'm going to catch up on chat real quick. All right. Pentaquant loves the boilers. Hiring semicolon instead of a colon. All right. Somebody's better at punctuation than I am. Let me go find that. Whoever made that comment, help me find it. Skills, hiring. I'm not sure. Someone who's good at English, should that be hiring colon 2,500 lifetime? Or I was saying I have a skill in hiring and then 2,500 lifetime interviews. But you do have a point that I'm inconsistent. I'll show you what I'm talking about right here. I have hiring semicolon, and then I have innovation period. So maybe I'll change that, both of them, to colons. That's like a good way to handle it across the board. Okay, so bottom line, I would only actually ever send out a 2-page resume. This one is 3 pages because I either haven't played with the formatting enough or I would cut and paste when I sent it out. But otherwise, I think this is a pretty good example of what we talk about in this channel. So love it or hate it, there's an example for you. Hyphen is another option. I wonder if that looks better. This is the kind of stuff people obsess about, and it's at the bottom of the resume. By the way, I'm going to tell a story about resume advice I give here because I can't show the example. I didn't clear it with the guy. Yeah, I like it. I'm testing it in Word with the hyphen on my other screen, and it looks good. So thank you for that suggestion. So one thing I'm always talking about is how people want to tell their life story in a resume. And I got a resume yesterday, a couple days ago. Someone used my paid review service to have a private personal review. And that's when I do them not on screen. I do all these here so nobody has to do that. But some people still want me to go through their resume and give them private point-by-point feedback not on stream. So I let them pay me to do it. So this gentleman is in Scotland, and he told me that his resume had been approved by the Career Centre at his university in Scotland, and that it had won they call them CVs, of course. It's curriculum vitae outside the U.S. Pashi, welcome back. Thank you for your longtime sub. Pashi is our main active video editor and is responsible for all the good stuff that gets on YouTube, including ultimately this video when you see it there. So we took a second to thank Pashi and interrupt myself because he's why you're able to watch this on YouTube when one day you are. In any case, this gentleman in Scotland, he said that his CV had won a resume competition sponsored by Rolls-Royce. And yet he didn't have a job. And the whole first page of his resume was text talking about himself. He had like a big, like 8-line paragraph about his personality, and then 3 8 or so line paragraphs each on his different skills. And the only actual hard fact on his first page, besides his name and address or name and phone number, were his degrees. So I said, this is not at all going to work. In my opinion, I'm glad you got all that feedback from others because the opinions differ. But I decided to double check. And so I sent his resume to Bink Search, B-I-N-C, where Bink is run by a friend of mine, Boris, who came on the show maybe 6 months ago to talk about resumes. And I asked him, I didn't give him any context. I just said, what do you think about this resume? And he immediately wrote me back and said, I don't like the fact that he basically wasted the whole first page without getting to his experience. And I quote, I would just skip over that and go straight to his experience. So whatever you do with your resume, get to the point on what you do. And that's why the most important part of the resume is what people are going to see, quote unquote, above the fold when they open it on their screen, which I've got this one blown up for display. It's going to be, this plus a little bit more. So mine has who I am, my objective, some key qualifications, and what I did last. And that's pretty much going to be a winner.